As I said, I'm petrified. I was on a session yesterday and absolutely everything went wrong. So I'm a bit wounded from that. So hopefully, go gentle on me. Hopefully things will be all good today. Okay, I'll kick straight off. Well, morning everybody, and thanks for your time today. Yeah, my name's Paul Shepherd. I'm the founder and the CEO of We Build Bots, or WBB for short. And I'm going to spend around 15 minutes today talking about automation and how it can be driven by conversational AI to improve service delivery, citizen engagement, and cost effectiveness across local government. So WBB is a service and process automation company, and we're helping public sector organisations deliver better, faster, cheaper access to public services and information. So customers currently using our platform, I think there's a couple of others on the session today. Using IntelliAgent, they're able to experiences and internal process automation flows without really knowing a line of code. It's a low code, no code platform for building automations that face outwards towards citizens, but also can be turned inwards to help your teams get faster kind of access to information and services. So we're working predominantly with customers across local government, but we do also work across transport, education, utilities. We've processed around about 600,000, we've got about 600,000 citizens using our chatbots right now, and we've processed almost 3 million messages from those citizens. I touched on that just now, and for us that last point is really important, because we believe that conversational data is possibly the greatest untapped resource available to any organization. So we work hard to collect, analyze, and visualize that conversational data, not only to train the language models, as I just touched upon, but also to help our customers embark on a journey of continuous service improvement by really having a look at the insights that we can derive from that conversational data. And I guess that kind of brings me straight to lesson one, really. If you are thinking about deploying a citizen service chatbot, for example, you might be wondering, well, what areas do we automate? How do we go about it? And the answer to what you should automate kind of already exists in the questions that you're already being asked. So if you transcribe or record calls, analyze what they're about, try and cluster your emails into topics, and then rank that topic by what you think would be the most complex to the simplest. So waste collection would probably be up there with the more simple kind of issues, versus adult social care, which would probably be the other end of the spectrum and one of the more complex issues. If you could do the same with your social media platforms, your live chat inquiries, if you have that channel open, you can really quickly start to build a picture of where efficiencies can be gained. And if anyone's interested in understanding more about that, we have all kinds of templates and kind of Excel spreadsheet formulas and stuff that can help you to work that stuff out and build a business case around what are going to be the most automatable, I don't think that's a word, but topics for your organization. Okay, so what's the kind of the current problem faced by organizations today? Our analysis of call data from about 30 local authorities, which totaled around about 2 million calls, threw up these statistics. So the average handling time is about 5 minutes for a phone call that comes into a local authority. And the cost to serve these calls, so the cost per call minute, is around £1. That's for a fully loaded agent. And by that, we mean the salary of the agent, the desk space, the software, shrinkage, so training time, holidays, and things like this. It all adds up to what we call a fully loaded agent. And the cost of a fully loaded agent is about £1 per call minute. So a mid-sized authority that takes around about 100,000 calls will incur costs of around about £500,000 to service those calls. And when you look at the topics of those calls, it's really clear that around about 50% of the inbound traffic, that's calls and emails, could and frankly should be dealt with autonomously. So things like waste inquiries, tip bookings, leisure centre inquiries, these don't need human contact. Handling these kinds of inquiries through non-automated channels is really costly, as you've seen, but it's also really frustrating for citizens. Local government represents the second biggest opportunity for service improvement after utilities. And it's actually great news because these improvements can be made quickly and can have a really fundamental impact on the efficiencies of the organisation. So deflecting your high volume, low value interactions into automated channels like chatbots could save a mid-sized authority, again, someone taking around about 100,000 calls a year, around about 4,000 hours a year, or about £250,000. And there's huge efficiencies to be gained internally as well. So according to one poll, around about 26% of our time in work is wasted on repetitive administrative tasks. And with ONS placing the average salary at about £38,000 a year, that means a 50-person organisation is hemorrhaging around about £500,000 a year because of these inefficient processes. And we believe that automation can be powered by conversational AI to solve these issues. We also believe, most importantly of all, that the efficiencies created through automation can have a very real impact on the lives of your citizens. I think is a point that's kind of really nicely expressed by one of our customers, Matt Scalpello at West Berkshire. You know, he talks about he wants his team dealing with mental health, addiction, dependency issues, not having their time eroded by queries around bin collections and other easily automated questions. So in short, we believe that, you know, we can let bots do the ordinary and let the teams do the extraordinary. And we've got really human. It touched on though that one of the attendees touched on this about the elephant in the room, and is this going to equate to job losses? The monetary savings are often, if they're to be realised, it is often through the reduction of FTE or a reduced reliance on agency staff and temporary staff, which can be quite costly. But actually, there's very human stories from our deployments around agents being able to help people in their search for social housing, people who are about to be made homeless, people who are desperately trying to chase their benefits check. There was an 82-year-old chap who had questions around food tokens, food vouchers, and was able to get a much quicker service through the chatbot. We've had domestic abuse highlighted through the chatbot, homelessness highlighted through the chatbot. So there's so many kind of people in need of support, and quite often the people that need the support most can't get it because time's been eroded by the high value, the high volume, low value interactions, and we're really talking about taking those away so that you can focus on the extraordinary. And I guess lesson 2 would be you have to, if you're going to deploy something like a chatbot, you have to drive awareness of that chatbot, both internally and externally, because the quicker people adopt it and the more readily and the more people adopt it, the more the savings are going to come because of that kind of deployment. So push it out across local press, on social media, highlight it on your homepage, even in your IVR system, let people know that they can actually handle this inquiry potentially using the chatbot. And find innovative ways of engaging people. Ask citizens to name the bot, include it on your email signatures. The more people you can drive into automated channels, the higher your savings will be. And I know we've got Kyle on the call, and Monmouthshire did this really well. They asked citizens to name the chatbot. I think that the name came out as Monty. They produced videos for social media. They publicised it at local events, and they even helped citizens use the bot with awareness days in the local library. And as you can see, they're starting to really reap the benefits, giving hundreds of hours back to the contact centre. Predominantly around waste. I think this is true across lots of local authorities. Waste is a big issue, high volume, and as you can see, they're automating a high proportion of the waste inquiries that used to come in through non-automated channels. Number 3, and again, I think someone's mentioned it, but start small. Choose an area of the organisation. Have a look at the data, like I mentioned earlier in the presentation, and choose an area that you think would benefit most from automation. A lot of the time, it is waste. So if that is it, then focus on that and prove the case. Do a deep dive, and then expand the business case across different areas of the business from there. So yeah, start small. But actually, I just want to finish having said start small. Start small, but think big, and that's something that we're doing at WeWillBots. Brings us to our kind of moonshot, and we're really keen to try and develop this idea of a digital neighbourhood across Wales. It'd be a world first, and we've got some good support. We've already got 4 local authorities that we work with. We also work with Transport for Wales. We work with Cardiff and Vale College. Welsh Water are interested in being involved. We've got potentially backing from Amazon AWS, and we're really looking to build this bilingual network of 22 bots that act as a front door to all the core services that Welsh citizens might need, whether that be local authorities, health, transport, housing, education, utilities. We talk about aggregating all of those services to facilitate easier citizen access, and using that data to help local authorities continually improve their services and how they deliver those services. Everything we do is kind of pushed across numerous channels, whether it be website, in-app, Facebook Messenger, WhatsApp, Alexa, Google Assistant. Increasingly, citizens want to get the services they need across the channels they want. And again, we want to kind of create this single front door that sits on websites, in messaging channels, in smart speakers, so that the people of Wales can access the services that they need, regardless of whether they're on a local authority's website or a utilities website. We really want to create a mesh of knowledge and get people accessing it through the channels that they want. Everything we do is multilingual, obviously bilingual here in Wales. And the savings could be quite phenomenal. So we'd be looking at saving around about 4,000 hours per authority per year. As I said earlier, an equivalent of about £250,000 per year per authority. But when you really look at that pan Wales, and you think there's potentially savings of £5.5 million and 183,000, or there's an extra zero in there, hours. Again, it comes back to this point of what could we do with that saved money and that saved time? How much better could we make the lives of citizens, those citizens that really need the kind of the support and find it hard, whether they're vulnerable, elderly, dependent in some other way? We kind of envisage this world where all of the savings, all of the time and all of the money savings can make their way to the front line, and not just improve the efficiencies of local authorities across Wales, but improve the lives of Welsh citizens. And yeah, we'd love every Welsh authority to join the neighbourhood. Thanks, guys. Thanks for listening. That's